Hello, everybody. Welcome back to M&J Games. I am Michael, and welcome to another park tour. As today we are visiting a smaller park, but it's still a very well-rounded park called Studio City by Taylor underscore 11 underscore 11. And basically, the description says this is a small park, packs a giant punch with rides for all ages. Hope you guys enjoy. And he said these hidden an Easter egg, which I'll be completely honest. I'm awful at finding Easter eggs. So there's a strong likelihood that I will not find the Easter egg, but we are going to give it a shot anyways. Now, I will say, in talking with the creator, there are a couple pieces used that were either downloaded from the workshop or in-game kind of building pieces. As you can kind of see, as I'm going to kind of move this here to the left, as we have the main castle that was given to us in the very beginning of the game, but I do think it is put very well into the park. And so I'm really excited to get a look at this tour. It's once again called Studio City, under created by Taylor underscore 11 underscore 11. And so right away, love the little red carpet entrance. Like, just really makes it feel like it's Hollywood, something nice. You know, you got the red carpet rolled out for everybody, and the barriers look good there. I maybe would get rid of the barriers over this, and I understand maybe. Well, there's no path there. Yeah, so I would just honestly get rid of that fencing and get rid of the barriers because I think that kind of lessens the look of it a little bit, in my opinion. So let's take a look at this and see if we can just try to see what it looked like without the barrier. And the whole point of this is because we're just trying to make this look real nice as we're coming into the park, right? So if we so now you can take this barrier and you can just simply shift it up a little bit more this way. Yeah, so that's personally what I would do. Now, obviously, that's just my suggestion. It's not trying to say that it was bad before. It's just I would get rid of that because you could see a little bit of it seeping through. So that's just my opinion on that situation. But as I said, love the red carpet entrance. Really makes it kind of feel elegant and stuff like that. And then you've got these signs up here, which I wish we could move or like put pictures in, of course, but we can't. So really, really well done. And you've got like almost this little sound stage, this movie production. And so if we go here to the left or to the right, to the left, what am I thinking? To the right. Now there's not a walkway back here, but this would be, where does this lead to? Okay, it doesn't lead to anywhere. Where am I trying to go? All right, so I was trying to get back here to the car park, which I do love seeing more people start putting little parking lots in their park because I think it just adds that realism aspect to it, and I'm all about the realism. And to me, it's worth it to use the extra little percent. Only thing I would say for my suggestion for the next car park is it looks like we used the actual cement paving, or not cement, the whatever it's called. Yeah, I guess it is cement. It came in the studios pack. What I would suggest doing is when you start your park, you can choose your terrain loadout. And look, you've got this tarmac as a terrain loadout. So I would just And so since that's seeping through, I mean, I would just paint this whole thing using tarmac, and then it saves you some pieces on the piece count, right? Um, and then also, like, you kind of gotta, in my opinion, you gotta have somewhere for the car park to come from and lead to. But I mean, I do like seeing it because obviously, like, that's a really good start. Um, I look at my first parking lot compared to the latest one I made, and obviously we get better with each time. But I do like kind of the elegant design of these. And you want it like a door here, is you want it to lead to somewhere. So like, would this be a staff parking lot? Like, what would it be? Um, really like the idea with it though. Looks really good. Yeah, now I like the look of this street, and so it's like they're filming something up here. The only thing is guests aren't walking down here, so what you could have added is maybe added some sort of ride or some kind of attraction to kind of create some kind of guest flow, or even adding maybe one of those gosh, what are they called? They're those star things, those that attract people to watch. I can't remember what it's called. But I do love the kind of look and layout here. It looks really good. You know, obviously these are some of the basic building pieces that are given to us in the beginning. But I like this look here. I honestly would have continued this look throughout. I think that looks nice. General store, like that. I like the kind of texture look to the building. It almost looks like a Walgreens type building, which obviously a general store would look like. So these buildings are really nice, well done. And as we look here to the right, this is the hotel that came with the game. And it's a nice kind of viewpoint, kind of as you're in the park. Ooh, something nice here. That's the entryway to the hotel. Let's make it seem like it's like a honeymoon like spot or something like that. um, yeah, I do like the look of this hotel though that they gave. You know, maybe they could have used different pieces other than the wood, but I do think it's kind of a really nice look. And so now here's the main entryway. Okay, well that's part of the reason too. Part of the reason why you don't have as much guest flow as you might want. Now, I could be totally wrong about this, so guys, for anybody who knows more about this than me, please correct me if I'm wrong. But because we don't have the actual entrance until here, you're having a lot less guest flow outside of the park other than riding this tram. And so that's part of the issue is you could like hide an entrance kind of behind a wall or barrier, and it would kind of give it a little bit more like it would allow kind of more people to wander to random places just because they're kind of designed with how the AI is built to only go to the park, or in this case straight to the hotel or to that ride. If we go over here though, because I don't want to miss this, so we've got the little what are these are called, people rider, I think is what it's called. So we'll definitely take a ride on this at the end. But I like this station. I think it's nice. I would just add a cross beam or two. But I like what she did across the top here, adding that beam and adding that light. So if at nighttime, you know, it's lit up and stuff like that. Yeah, so I would just add a little bit more detail with adding some beams across the top. But I love the style of, oops. But I like the style of the buildings and stuff. And like I said, even if something's like downloaded from the workshop or whatever, I mean, you still got to place it in your park to where it looks nice. And this looks good. So then we get the main entrance here. And I like how right when you walk in, if you're the guest, so let's walk, you know, let's walk around Flip Cam a little bit. Oh, nope, nope. I just recently filmed Poops It Out's park. So I started when I typed in P, the last one that was trying to auto type in was Poops It Out. So that's why it took a little bit longer there. But as you can see, as we let's get the HUD off the screen for this. I love right when you enter the park that you've got this look right here where you can see the top of that King Ka Top Thrill type recreation type of coaster. So it gives really good views. And this people mover thing is really cool. I think it does give a good look to it. So if we head this way, and I think honestly, out of the main games building pack, I loved these like City Riviera buildings. I just thought they're really cool, and I thought they're easy to kind of fit well in your park. So I definitely used them a lot early on, with the building styles and stuff. And so I think it's easy to kind of make a plaza look nice using those pieces. And so good job. Nice eating plaza, plenty of space. You got enough restaurants. You're giving people enough space to walk around. Ooh. Gosh, I still just love this camera. It just adds that extra cool look to it. And I love kind of the how that coaster, or not that coaster, that flat ride looks in the park. So really well done. You know, good job here with the adding the floral and stuff. Only thing is you might be able to kind of differ those up by lowering some, raising some a little bit, just to kind of change the heights. Oh, I like those lights you chose to use there. It's a nice touch. Once again, you got some food places. Got a nice planner. I don't know why that takes forever to load in sometimes. So we've got the first coaster we're coming to called the Dizzy Dive. So it looks like a max spinning coaster. Yeah, these are fun in real life, or at least I've ridden Time Traveler, and they're a lot of fun, even though they didn't give us the launched version, um, which I guess makes sense because I can't remember what pack that came out in, but when it came out on PC, I don't know if Time Traveler had been built yet. I mean, it looks to be pretty good on the spinning, except for it's maybe not. Ooh. Yeah, it looks fairly good on the spinning. Maybe just spinning a little bit more, but it's almost like you'd rather it spin not quite enough than. Oh gosh, hate how I always do that. Not quite enough than too much, right? So I think we can actually probably ride this in guest view as we look at the stats. So this definitely looks more family oriented. 63 feet, biggest drop. G forces look really good. So max speed 47 miles per hour. So yeah, definitely more geared towards the family. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's really interesting because it's like it's almost like two separate rides. The first part, once you get down here, it's like I want to see if there's actually is it that piece there? Oh no, that's just the track piece connected. But there's one part where you could tell that it, like locked it into place, and so I was wondering if there's a specific look. Oh, I think it's here. Nope, never mind. That's the. Is that it? Let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to just. I've never really looked at this before. Yeah, so I think that's the piece that actually locks the train into place and causes it not to move. So this one really doesn't move too much. Let's see real quick. So I'm really interested about this. I'm just really interested to see if that, huh? I was just wondering if they showed like a visual of it, like kind of locking it, and so if you could kind of see that or not. But yes, that first one didn't really spin much on the beginning, and then it spun a lot more on the second half. But that was really fun. I enjoyed that. I think the station's neat. The only thing I would change is you've got this massive space here that's not being used. So you could use some custom lettering, or there's lettering on the workshop that you could actually spell out Dizzy Dive, and you've already got kind of the the detail here with these two wood pieces sticking out. So you could just kind of have that be kind of the centerpiece where you center it around. So that's the only suggestion I have for this station, but I think it looks nice. It's definitely a cool little design. And there we go. We have, is this one called, I'm guessing this is a King Ka inspired coaster called Velocity. So if we look at the stats on that one, even though, oh, excuse me. Oh. Once again, the yawns. So we got 106 miles per hour, 319 feet. So not quite the King Ka Top Thrill. But I do like the queue. You added some detail with trees, and you kind of sectioned it off. Oh, this is an interesting interior. Really taking advantage of the vintage stuff. I like it. This is really cool. Gives it a real carnival look. I mean, I guess the only thing I'd suggest is that this probably works a little bit better on like a um, on maybe like a less thrilling coaster. Those are, of course, classics. Yeah, I was just meaning that that carnival stuff doesn't seem to fit like the thrilling aspect of this coaster, but that's awesome. Like, love the look of this, love the use of different pieces, and especially using this fencing, or archways and fencing and stuff. I think that's a really, really good touch. It's one of the most unique stations I've seen in terms of like, I was just not expecting that. And so the detail's really nice that you used on the outside of it and looks really cool. Really like that. Now I like this custom walkway here that you made at the end. You could have used the main in the game, but I do like how you decide to go custom here. So I think that's a really kind of cool look. You know, maybe the next step is trying to do that, but then create a little transfer track with it. But really like the look of that. So if we kind of look at the aerial view of what we're looking at in flip cam mode, so you can see, in my opinion, fairly nice layout. You've got the coasters kind of on the outer portion of it, and you've got your food and other stalls kind of on the way to your rides in a sense. All right. So let's see. Now maybe the only thing I would change here is, and I don't know what I would necessarily do differently, is I know I'm guessing you've got this terrain up to kind of create like a blockage from the other parts of the park to kind of hide the sight lines in that sense. But I'd maybe try to make it look a little bit neater. Like maybe you could actually like use some of the actual rocks in game and different stuff like that. So let's head back this way. Oh, we can watch the launch from here. That's cool. So I like this little lake that we're walking around. So that's a cool touch. Yeah, that was a well done coaster. Really well done. I do like the little. You got a couple of these little walkways that are have got a lot of rocks and trees around and stuff, and just seem really nice to fit in with nature, even though it's not necessarily a nature park. So I think that's a really cool job. Mm. Yeah, so it's interesting too how you've kind of decided to go with the different kind of themes and styles for the park, and I think it fits. It's I wouldn't think to have a part of my park that's got all these kind of massive, almost city block type apartments, but it's just kind of really sectioning off the different areas that of the park that you've created. I have no idea what's over here, but we're about to find out. Let's see. Oh, this is to Iron Maddie's flat ride. I need to make sure and let Maddie know that that's cool. I think he did a great job with this. So I'll need to make sure and let Maddie know that his flat ride got put to good use here. This is well done and well done with the pathing and stuff to kind of that's I think that's pretty well done. So we got Desperado, which is going to be this. I think this is another Intamin coaster. No, it's the Giga coaster, the Rage. Okay. Question is, where's the queue? Is this the queue here? Oh, right there. I was like, what in the world? All right, I was out of it there. I was trying to figure out where it was it. Nice job. You know, maybe the only thing is you can actually take the support piece off of that track, so eliminate that and get that out of the queue. But I like how you made these custom walls here. They're not necessarily they're custom walls, but you know what I'm saying. Put walls in there to kind of section off the lines in the cube. And you do use a lot of good detail on your buildings and stuff like that. So now here's the station. So once again, we said this is a Giga Rage coaster. So if we look at the stats, biggest drop 289, so a little bit off from a Giga. G forces look good, especially the laterals. Those look really good. One airtime moment, no inversions. You know that's expected. So while we're waiting on the coaster, we can kind of get the aerial view of the what's going on with this. Is that a block section? Oh, that must have been a block section. Okay. It almost gives me Millennium type vibes with that first hill. And I like the shaping here of which this is something I've got to work on too, making giga coasters and stuff, is they've got a very distinct kind of weird shaping at the top because they go from being such a gradual incline to such a steep decline in a short amount of in a short amount of track essentially that it kind of gives this really cool, weird, unique, all at the same time kind of look to it. And this is a long coaster. Okay, so this has definitely got to me. This gives me like some not necessarily the whippiness of it, but it gives me a little bit more like Millennium, like I said, or I-305 vibes with all the kind of turning and stuff, and less about airtime. So I think this one's technically the only airtime hill. Or it also takes some maybe some inspiration from Goliath at or Titan at Six Flags over Georgia. Wow, I can't speak. Six Flags over Texas. So let's go ahead and hop on this coaster. That's a fantastic coaster. Like really well done. The only thing I'm wondering about is where is this a block section here or not? Because it's almost like let's see. So I'm just trying to see, to kind of give some advice on to how to not have that coaster sitting there at the front. Because obviously it has to do a block section. So that's okay. Oh, you're running three trains. That's why. Okay. Um, Here would be my suggestion then. I would suggest run two trains. That's just my personal opinion. It's like I said, this is a fantastic coaster. Love the layout. Don't really know personally what you were doing with the tarmac here, like what kind of the goal of that was. Like maybe since it's a studio park, like a studio lot, but like really super smooth, really good elements. Had some really overbanked turns to it, which were nice. So definitely would love to ride this coaster in real life if this was a real coaster. I suggest just having two trains though. And the reason is, I mean, at the end of the day, who cares if your line gets too long, right? Like you'd almost rather be have longer lines in this game in a sense, and you don't necessarily want them just sitting right here because the issue is essentially you've got a block section there, you've got one at the top, you've got one here. Now I don't know if you put any here at the end, but the issue is that by the time this coaster right here gets around this way, this one is only about halfway up the lift hill. So there needs to be a different way, and maybe speeding this chain up a little bit because you see it's not even halfway up the lift hill yet. So it's got a long time that it has to wait down there. If you are planning on running three cars, so maybe if you sped up the lift hill speed to all the way, maybe that would get it to the top. I don't know for sure though. But either way, like I said, love the coaster. It's absolutely fantastic. My favorite one in the park. Really, really well done. All right, so this is the People Mover. I just want to kind of look at the station. So this definitely give like a warehouse type vibe. Well done with the pipes kind of here at the top, and you've got the wiring going across. I think that's a cool touch. And then you made this custom fencing right here for the walkway, which is nice. Really, really well done. So it seems a little bit more of like the kids area, and I could be wrong about that, but you got a little bit more family friendly rides. You got the arcades. You don't really have arcades by your thrill coasters because they'd rather be riding the coaster than dealing with the arcades. We got a couple nice castle buildings, and then we got the go karts, which these came. I don't know if this was if somebody made this when the game first came out, or if it actually no. I think it came as part of the game, but I think it looks really kind of majestic here. It's just off in the distance with the light in the background and stuff, or the sun shining down. Looks really good. And we're not going to actually go on the go karts, but we're just going to kind of follow the track. Um, to be honest, I don't know if I ever actually looked at this creation at all. This looks like an awesome go kart track. If this was ever like if anybody ever made a go kart like this in real life, this would be fantastic. Wow. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah. So this one definitely is more of a smaller scale park. And I like how since this is a studio park, you use um, the cement kind of pathing throughout because that's what you see at a lot of theme parks. You either see that or it's not gravel, but you know what I'm saying, like the lighter paths. You don't see a lot of different like crazy pathing, but I do like how you right here you kind of sectioned it off where you have two different pathing colors. And so you've done that a couple times in the park, and I think that is just a really kind of cool touch. Like right there, I think that looks awesome. I mean, it gives kind of a really cool look to it. So that's really well done. Oh, and you have the covering there on these not these coasters, on these flat rides to match that pathing there. So that's a really, really cool, really well done. So let's go over here to the People Mover. So medieval movie filming. Dragon looked a little bit too happy. Man, this thing is definitely booking it around. I think it's cool. It gives good views. We'll ride it back to the entrance, then wrap up the tour. I don't know why I did that. Sorry. Definitely gives some good views around the park. I haven't really built in this city biome other than I think my first couple parks. And then I realized that I like some of the other biomes a little bit more. But I think you've done a good job with the layout of the park and stuff, which um, is really is well done. You have kind of everything dispersed to the outsides of the park with kind of your big coasters and stuff. And you got some more smaller attractions in the middle. So there is the ride and the people mover, or what do they call in the game? Light rail polarity. Okay. I normally don't make mass transportation like that just because always, I usually want to use that Oswald counter towards something else. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the park. And as I said, I think the layout's really solid. I like the coaster choices that you did decide to go with. You went with a moderate one, but one that anybody in the family can kind of ride. It's a Gerstlauer coaster. You then have an Intamin, I forget what those are called, Intamin accelerator coaster, and then you've got obviously the almost Giga coaster, but the Hyper coaster. So I think that's really really well done, and look forward to seeing what you're able to do with your next park. So remember, guys, make sure to go download, rate, and subscribe well, I guess download and subscribe is the same thing. Make sure to subscribe and rate on the workshop. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.